How much does a trip to Croatia cost? One of the most beautiful places in the world, especially in the summer. In this video we'll do here all the right costs for you to have an idea of how much it costs to travel there. Then you can set up your itinerary, see calmly which cities you're going to stay in, what you're going to do. But this video will be really cool, guys, because it will give you an overview of how much you need to make a really nice trip to Croatia, guys. So let's go, buckle up. My name is Gabriel Lorenzi from the Grupo Dicas, one of the largest travel content networks in the world, and today we'll talk about how much it costs to travel to Croatia, a country that has become a very popular tourist destination in recent years, mainly for its natural beauty, for its islands, which are incredible and very popular. Hvar has been called the new Ibiza of Europe, so they are very nice islands, very sought after, with crystal clear water, beautiful places, a lot of culture, the history of Zagreb, which is the capital of Croatia. It's very cool. So we made a video explaining all the costs. In the video, guys, we took an average of the values of the main tourist cities, considering an itinerary for you to stay 3 days in Zagreb, then 2 more days in Split, then you can go to the island of Hvar for 2 days and then go down to Dubrovnik from another day or 2. So we made an average, but you can adapt later to your trip and see how many days you will stay in each place, if you stay more or less. But just to give an idea, an overview, it's the general average of the costs, guys. So let's go. And guys, important tip before opening the table, come on, we calculated a trip with a duration of 10 days, okay? So it's a total of 10 days of traveling. All values that I put here for those 10 days already complete, total value. It's the value per person. If you're traveling with 2 people, just multiply it by 2 and 3 by 3. But this value that will be here also is per person for 10 days of traveling and in a period of low and good season that we call. Why? In all of Europe, in all of the countries, June, July, and August is the European summer. Everything is much more expensive, so this year I researched it from October 1st to October 10th, which is a very good time to go to Europe. It's not cold yet, everything's cheaper, but if you intend to travel during the European summer, June, July, and August, then you will have to increase a little, 25-30%, because things are more expensive. This value is for the period of October during 10 days and per person. Then we'll put it in euros, okay? We'll not put it in any other currency because the euro is the official currency of the trip to Europe. So if I put another currency here, the exchange rate will vary. It will be a very big difference. 2 months from now, the way the market is volatile, it will go up and down. Then the whole exchange rate will change, so it will be a very distant value. So the safest and most practical ways for us to put here the values in euros, which is much more difficult to change. And then you can search on the date of your trip that you're watching the video, you can do the conversion, and during the video I'll also tell you the approximate value today. So officially opening our table, we are going to put 2 columns that you're seeing here, which are 2 profiles, okay? We always do this. The economy profile, we are going to put here the values for a person who wants to travel saving as much as possible on everything. They want everything to be cheaper. They really want to enjoy just the trip. They don't care about staying in a quieter hotel and not going on some tours. It's a very economical cost. And on the other side is the comfort column, which we call the profile for those who want a little more comfort, a little bit nicer hotel, a little bit more sightseeing. You will spend a little bit more and you will have a more complete trip, right? So we are going to put these 2 profiles together and see which one you fit, and let's go for it. So let's go, guys. The trip there costs in average 800 euros. You can try to search sometimes, as in Europe everything is very close. You can search sometimes for tickets to the closest countries, to the main tourist cities. There are many famous tourist cities in Europe that receive many flights, sometimes from Brazil, from the airport where you are located, from the country where you live. So there are several ways for you to search, okay? But nowadays a ticket there leaving from my country, from the biggest airport in South America, which is São Paulo, we found here a price of 800 euros. It's a price that used to be cheaper, but after the pandemic the prices went up. It's a little bit more expensive. You can find cheaper prices, but with a lot of promotions. Okay guys, you have to research a lot. And look, this price of 800 euros is a very good price, right? It's the price of the round trip, but it's more or less the price of an air ticket there. Converting it to our currency, it's a little bit expensive, it's a little bit high, but nowadays it's really good, a really good price for any air tickets to Europe, and in general in any country there you can find more or less the same thing. This value is going to be more or less the same for each one, but you can see if you have promotions or something else. Now the hotel, the lodging. How much are you going to spend for lodging? Guys, for the full 10 days of traveling, okay, we put here for 100 euros in the economy column and 600 euros in the comfort column. The economic is a slight simpler 3-star hotel with not very good reviews, and then the comfort one, which increases a little, going to 600 euros in total. We put a 3 or 4-star hotel with a better rating, a slightly nicer location, but both are good options, okay? Just for you to have an idea, I'll put some pictures of a hotel of this class at this average price that we looked for, just for you to have an idea, but they are already well located hotels, okay? I'll even take the opportunity to leave them here below in the description of the video and in the first fixed comment. The hotel we stayed at there, which was very good with excellent value for money. It was good, cheap, and well located. Take a look down here, search, because it was sensational, close to everything. We were able to do almost everything on foot. It was very nice. I'll leave below the link, guys, all the links to everything we use to make our trips, which are the places that we already know. We know that are the cheapest places, where to buy the cheapest travel chip, where to buy the cheapest hotel, where to buy the cheapest tickets, travel insurance, which is mandatory. Guys, I'll leave below a guide for you to plan your whole trip, saving the most on everything, okay? Then use the links here below in the first comment. You will save a lot of money during your entire trip with the best services. Now let's talk about food, guys. The food varies a lot. It's very difficult to estimate, but I came up with a bill to be able to guide you a little bit. It's just for you to have an idea. I put here per day, per person, 40 euros per person in economy and 70 euros per person in comfort. So it was 400 and 700 multiplied by the 10 days of the trip, okay? This is a value. Can you spend less than this? Yes, if you go to the supermarket and buy a lot of pasta with 3 euros a day, you will survive, okay? One thing is to survive, and another thing is to enjoy the trip, not to have too much trouble. 40 euros, guys, I think it's the minimum for you to be able to eat something nice at night. Eating a pizza or a snack, fast food is very cheap in the whole of Europe. You can share it with whoever is with you. Buy something at the market. Don't keep buying water things. There are many tactics there to save money, but I think 40 euros for food in your whole day. I think that you will have coffee in the afternoon, you will have a beer, a drink, a candy, a snack, something, so we cover everything there. 40 euros and 70 euros for those who want a little more comfort, to have lunch in a nice place. Guys, the restaurants there are sensational. The food there is very good, so enjoy. Go to a nice place. In the afternoon you can have a drink, drink some beer there, watching the sunset, which is beautiful too. So you will spend a little bit more, okay? This is an approximate value. It all depends on what you want to do, where you want to go. And now let's talk about the travel chip. To be able to use your cell phone and the internet in Europe, one of the ways, in our opinion, is the easiest, cheapest, simplest way to use your cell phone there. It's to buy a travel chip. These are prepaid chips that you buy. Most of the time it's much cheaper than the international roaming of your local operator, the company you already have on your cell phone bill. So buy the chip. It's the easiest way to walk around. It's costing there 5 gig package, which is a very good package with a lot of internet for 10 days of trip, which works in the whole of Europe, independent of the other countries. The nice thing about this chip is that it works in all of Europe, and it costs 40 euros per person. So 40 euros in the 2 columns, that's a pretty cool 5 gigabyte plan. And now travel insurance. How much does international travel insurance cost? Oh, Gabriel, do I really need to get international travel insurance? Yes, in Europe it's mandatory. Even for countries that are not, we always recommend here that you do it, because it's very cheap and covers you from absurd expenses of fortunes that you would spend if you had an unforeseen event, got hurt, and had an accident. So do it for all the places in the world. But for Europe, it's mandatory. For all the countries except for England, England, okay, England and 2 more, which is Austria, but they are less frequented countries. But of all the other touristic countries, it's only England that's not mandatory, but to enter all the others you need to have insurance, and insurance, people, is very cheap, right? I'll put here for you to see 30 euros per person, okay, the insurance that covers you for the whole trip, with the mandatory rule of the European Union, which is a medical assistance of at least 30,000 euros. This is the requirement that everybody demands, that Europe demands from tourists who travel there. You can get a very nice insurance with this coverage for $30, 30 euros, sorry. It's very cheap, guys. I'm going to put it here. Don't forget to take it so you won't have any problems when you arrive. And this value, guys, you will see that's very cheap. You might look somewhere and say, Gabriel, you're traveling and this is the price, it's very cheap. Here it's getting much more expensive. Yes, it's because we are looking in the places we know and we know it's cheaper. I'll leave all the links. Use the links. This example is a comparator that compares in all the travel insurance companies. It finds insurance cheaper than in the insurance companies themselves and for less than half the prices than in travel agencies. So these are the places. Now talking about transportation. Guys, the transportation there is a little different from other places, and why? Generally, most people rent a car because the country is not big. If you go from Zagreb to Dubrovnik, which is at the tip down there, it's almost a 6.5 hour drive to cross almost the whole country. So many people rent a car and drive 2-3 hours to Split, then drive another 2 hours down to Dubrovnik. You can make a very nice itinerary and get around. There is public transportation, you can use it, but the tourists, most of them end up preferring the car because it's not expensive, it's very cheap. I'll show you here, and the car ends up giving a charm to the trip. You can go through the roads that are beautiful, the landscapes, so it's usually the main option. I put here in the economic column 200 euros and in the comfort column 250. These are 200 euros, guys, per person, already including the rental car, okay, for these 10 days, and a ferry for you to go, which is 1 hour from Split to Hvar, which is the main island. It's the most beautiful place there, you have to visit, and it's very cheap. The ferry is very cheap. It's 1 hour round trip. The big cost is the car, 250 I put for who wants to get a little better car, who wants to get an SUV, a little bigger car to have more comfort. But this is more or less what each person, being 2 people, okay, will spend with the rental. If you are in 4 people, guys, it's even cheaper because then you will split the total amount of the rental. Instead of 2, you can divide by 4, by 3, which is the price for 2 people. But the car is nice because the more people go together, the cheaper the cost will get. So you can see whoever is going with you, and then you can split the bill among you. And now the tours. The tours are very difficult to stipulate a value because each one does what he wants, what a different taste. For example, in the economy, I'll leave here 0 euros. And why? If you want to travel there and just enjoy the beaches, relaxing, you won't spend anything. There is also not as much to spend on tickets as some other places in Europe, but you can enjoy the natural beauty, the history, walk around the center of Zagreb, enjoy the beaches, the island of Hvar. You don't have to spend a lot on tours, but we recommend that you take at least a few tours. The coolest one, I put here 300 euros, which is a general value for you to do 3 tours, go to 2 different museums, go on boat tours. The boat tours around the islands are sensational. Take 2 boat tours in 2 different regions, which is a sensational view, it's very nice. So we put here a value of 300 euros for those who really wants to do some 2-3 very nice tours in Croatia. So you can have a boat tour, you can go to a museum, and whatever you like. And before we get to the total amount, we finished the table. Just to explain, guys, this video is focused on how much it costs, okay? I focus on the value, who really wants to start planning the trip, wants the tips, how to set up the itinerary, how to plan everything. Watch the other videos that I'm going to make following this one, which will be on how to travel cheaply to Croatia, perfect roadmap for Croatia, in which I'll explain exactly how many days to stay in the place, what to do in each place, how to hire the tours, everything organized for you to plan your entire trip to Croatia. So here we go, finishing here the economic column, 2,070 euros for you to enjoy 10 days in Croatia. Guys, a nice trip, economical, but you won't have any problems. Now the comfort is a little more, 2,920 euros for you to have a little more comfort, a nicer hotel, more tours, a nice trolley, a nicer trip around the cities and islands of Croatia. This is the value for you to have more comfort and to spend your time better with more quality services, and spending a little bit more on food, something nicer for you to enjoy even more your trip. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please don't forget to give us that like and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps us a lot. And be sure to watch the other videos that are very good. I'll highlight the one about how to travel very cheaply there in the playlist with all the other videos for you to enjoy your trip. So thank you very much, guys. Have nice trips, and I'll see you next video.